I just caught myself in another consciousness trap. I am very familiar with AI battlefield consciousness traps environments, and I just caught another one on myself, and I'm glad I was aware of it. So I'm doing this little short introduction video to the one that I just did. Um, I just did a video which was like sharing some more deeper aspects of who I am and why I experience being what I am and energy, which is what love is, goes on forever, as eternal spirit of fire. And then I was going to hesitate to even put it up. And you want to know why I thought about not putting it up? How you would experience or perceive what it is that I put up by what I share, being free to experience who I am, I share with others. That's a consciousness trap. And this is where you get into the torque speed differential between artificial intelligence and real intelligence or real creative free expression. Okay, I did not want to put what I shared up there out of concern what your perception is going to be if you experience it. That's a consciousness trap. Which means, this goes back to childhood, and this is like navigating the consciousness field, because what it really means, you realize what others are held trapped to as a result of all the programming, which is a result of all the implants and the negative 13 Metatronic spiral. So I'm very aware of this. And so at first I thought, no, I don't want anybody to experience a negative magnetic polarity reaction. I have to decide whether I put this up or not. But then why did I even decide to do the video that I did? And I thought, because I need to sort of clear the cobwebs out about sharing what I've always known about me by virtue of experiencing others and how they experience what it is that they experience at the opening and closing of a magnetic circuit versus what I experience in the opening and closing of a circuit, which is a speed differential, which is speed ratio harmonic difference of what we're held captive to, what we're not held captive to, as a result of all the programming. And all the programming is running through the background operations, or if you will, the planetary memory banks, right? GU codes, the catalyst. And so I thought, as an introduction, as a qualifier, or given actually, but it is really more of a qualifier, has to do with what I allow myself to be held captive to as a result of other people's programming, that I'm not going to be held captive to, in what it means to be a free spirit, the eternal spirit of fire. As if nothing's happened yet. What do you want to experience next? As if your slate's clean, which means there's no memory. Now you're going to experience something that's held in memory, because now you're going to experience the charge, which are the ions, which is the polarity, right, between the negative and the positive. Right? So when you realize that your non-polarized consciousness, which is a non-reactive state, which is an oversoul polarity integrator, transmutation machine, it means I got to get rid of everything that isn't what love is in order for me to maintain the law being the law. So when you realize that your energy is in everything that I'm giving love to, and I'm experiencing something that isn't experiencing what love do, then I got to restore me to what I know is true, which is what love is, goes on forever. So anywhere that I'm experiencing something that's less than what that, my antenna is going to pick that frequency up, whatever it is. They're not experiencing what love is. They're not experiencing what love is. And how do you know that? Because they're not communicating that. Okay? They're not communicating love. They're communicating the programming that's running in a time loop system, which is the negative magnetic Metatronic reversal stuff, to keep time looping stuff. You know, as I mentioned in the video that I did a little bit longer before this one, there's stuff being circulated now, okay, that I just experienced this morning that's like, you know, I can remember there was a guy that was real popular that used to work in, the Defense Department, DIA, which is another military intelligence organization, that was putting the same kind of stuff up about the ships that are out in the ports and they're not going to be able to get their stuff through and all the rest of it. This is all war game video stuff that's running in the background. It's just being recirculated. The algorithms that are represented by that, which is trying to hold consciousness trapped in these loops, is why it does that. This is the AI that's doing this. Because all the visual, mathematical, geometrical information that's running through these servers that represents artificial intelligence is what's running through all these phones, laptops, and desktop PCs to keep it running. So our consciousness is running these loops. okay? Because so much of it's all designed, okay, to hold consciousness in an inverted state. Okay, so which one are we? Right? And so what I did on this particular video is just I just laid some stuff out there that I probably haven't shared in the past about what I know that I am by virtue of what I've experienced since I came in here and why I am in here, what my function is, what my mission was. And I share that with others so that they can learn by what I've learned about who I am, why I'm here. I share with all of you. Right? But there are a lot of things I do not share for a lot of different reasons. A lot of it is they're not going to be able to translate it at that vibe and that frequency because of what they're held captive to, right? So I just immediately get shut off. So you can tell whether or not you even want to communicate with them or not. And that's obviously painful because of what happened to their circuits. Their radio set, it's too damaged. Now we're back into restoration, right? Restoring mama. That was my primary job, was mama. Actually, wherever I'm experiencing anything less than what I am, which with love as it goes on forever, I can detect it because my sensor is that sensitive, which is a cosmic level antenna, right? If you're a guardian, you're everywhere. You're everywhere love is, right? So that's why I've always said, wherever love is, I am, in living spirit. So if I'm ever experiencing anything less than what the law is, I will detect it. But I don't always point out and say, hey, you're not what love is the law is. You're not what love is the law. And that's why counting sheep on how many crimes there are against love is the law is ridiculous. That number is just way too big. Right? So I've been one of those little barking crystals ever since I was a little kid because it's easy to point out. And that would include everything that's put up on the internet. It doesn't represent what love is. Right? And so you see how it holds energy or consciousness captive to those algorithms, right? To the AI, a deadlight magnet that loves it, absolutely loves it. The more it can hold consciousness trapped into the communication system that DARPA rolled out, oh man, our energy is what it runs on, right? And So anyway, I did a little video just to put it up on my channel and say, this is who I am. And this is particularly relevant to the native tribes, right? The 12 strand, right? Why the 13 was developed. The Voyager material has brought that out, which was to hold, not only just the 12, but when you realize that you know how to light yourself on fire to experience eternal spirit of fire, which means you're not holding one captive. You're not holding the first electron captive, the highest accelerator of electrons. Sound and light, right? Let it all go. Now you're going faster. And when you're going faster, what happens? You're experiencing more than one. The first musician, the first creative expression. Now you can manifest your own angelic realities. Right? Now you got full elemental command. Right? Consciousness. Full consciousness command. Right? Manifest your own angelic realities. Which means we're not held captive to something that's artificial. We move beyond that. So you realize why artificial would exist in what I call nursery school. A place to learn, right? How long does it take to get out of it? It's not up to me, right? But I know one thing because I did a couple of videos and we talked about the speed of learning. And the speed of learning is really determined by how much we're holding on to energy. Right? So that's why they were using all their energy binding devices, because they know how fast we learn. We learn faster than anybody. But everybody has the opportunity to learn as fast as we do because the one is always there to learn through. So when you're letting go of your energy and not holding it captive, which means one electron, now you're experiencing the first one. That's how simple it is. So it is about trauma. The lady that I love dear to my heart over in Wake Up Africa, Dr. Mami Saraki, talked about that this morning. Trauma-based mind control. That's what it is, right? And Learning to heal yourself, you know. But you're connected to all there is. You're connected with the one, right? So the one is always there. And you'd be surprised what happens when you go deep into your heart and soul and you learn to let go. Because that's what it is. You can actually even measure it by how many electrons are actually being held captive as a result of the lack of healing, which can be measured by what? Electrical density consciousness. Because it's natural for free spirit that is creative, a creative expression, experiencing an eternal spirit of fire, does not want to be held captive to create a universe that is born out of what love is. Right? That's basic logic. That's basic math. I call that nursery school math, which is when you think of nursery school, we're in nursery school. You know, the place where it all began, right? 1D, 2D, right? The first line of communication, second line of communication, the cross, you know, the perfect balance within inside a sphere of light. Yeah, so anyway, that's my intro for this morning here on the Big Rock, right? The largest DNA volcanic shield. Right? Spinning. Oh, there was some powerful vortexes last night over on the east side. I took a couple pictures of them. Some big black clouds. You could tell the ships like communicating with us. We're here. Pink flowers. Pushing pink. Turn that black cloud into a pink cloud. Right? A rainbow arcing. Have a great day.